I betrayed my husband's trust and cheated with my gym trainer. Now I'm watching him rebuild his life without me while I lost everything. I told myself it was harmless when I started texting Ryan from the gym. Just friendly banter. Compliments about my deadlift form. Nothing my husband needed to know about because it meant nothing, right? That's what I kept repeating while I angled my phone away from Mark during dinner. While I smiled at Ryan's thinking about you texts in the bathroom. While I ignored boundaries at the gym during a Saturday morning workout when Mark was home with our 2 daughters, making them pancakes. Mark and I had been together for 12 years. Married for 8. He was stable. Reliable. The kind of man who remembered to refill my car with gas before road trips and never raised his voice even when I deserved it. My friends used to joke that he was too nice, that I could do better, that I deserved someone with more edge. Someone exciting. Ryan had that edge. Ryan made me feel 23 again instead of 35 with stretch marks and a mortgage. The affair started 3 months after I joined that gym. Ryan was a personal trainer, divorced, no kids. He had time. He had attention. He made me feel seen in a way I hadn't in years. I told myself Mark had gotten comfortable. That he took me for granted. That the spark was gone and I was just trying to feel alive again. I started working late. Gym sessions that ran long. Girls' nights that didn't include any girls. Mark never questioned it. That's what killed me later, realizing he never questioned it because he trusted me completely. I used that trust like a credit card with no limit. They painted me as an unfit mother. Selfish. Reckless. Why I was distracted during homework time. I snapped at Lily once for spilling juice on my gym bag, and the look on her 6-year-old face still haunts me. But I told myself I was handling it. That I was still a good mom. That this thing with Ryan was just for me, just something to make me happy so I could be better for them. Ryan never promised me anything. I see that now. He liked the thrill of sneaking around, the sense of forbidden excitement. But I convinced myself he was my soulmate. That Mark and I had grown apart. That I deserved passion. I started picturing a different life. Me and Ryan in some downtown loft. The girls on weekends. Mark would understand eventually, wouldn't he? We'd all be happier. I got sloppy. I wanted to get caught. I think part of me wanted Mark to fight for me, to show me he still cared enough to be angry. So I left my phone unlocked. I came home late smelling like Ryan's cologne. I picked fights over nothing, trying to justify what I was doing by painting Mark as the bad guy. He found the text on a Tuesday night. I was in the shower. He was charging his phone and saw mine light up with a message from Gym Guy because I wasn't even smart enough to use Ryan's real name. When I came out, Mark was sitting on the edge of our bed with my phone in his hands, reading 6 months of messages. The inappropriate messages. The I love yous. The jokes about his cluelessness. I froze. For a second, I thought about lying. But his face stopped me. He wasn't crying. He wasn't yelling. He just looked at me like he was seeing a stranger. Like 12 years had evaporated in the time it took him to scroll through my betrayal. How long? He asked. His voice was flat. Empty. Mark, please, let me explain. How long? 3 months. But it's not what you think. I can fix this, we can go to counseling, I made a mistake. He stood up. Put my phone on the dresser. Walked to the closet and pulled out a duffel bag. I started crying, begging, grabbing his arm. He shrugged me off without looking at me. I'd never seen him like this. Cold. Mechanical. Like I wasn't even there. Mark, please, think about the girls, we can work through this. Don't you dare use our daughters as a shield. His voice cracked on daughters, and that's when I knew. I'd broken something that couldn't be fixed. He slept in the guest room that night. I didn't sleep at all. I texted Ryan, panicking, asking him what I should do. He left me on read. By morning, he blocked me on everything. 6 months of I've never felt this way before vanished the second real consequences showed up. Mark moved into his brother's place the next day. He hired a lawyer by the end of the week. He told me through his attorney that he wanted primary custody. That he had screenshots of everything. That his lawyer was confident he'd get exactly what he was asking for. I called him crying. He didn't answer. I showed up at his brother's apartment. His brother told me Mark didn't want to see me and that I needed to leave before he called the cops. And now I was holding the detonator with nothing left to destroy but myself. The divorce papers came on a Saturday. The girls were with Mark. I sat in our empty house, staring at the petition, and that's when it hit me. I wasn't getting him back. There was no grand gesture, no apology big enough. I'd torched 12 years for a gym trainer who wouldn't even return my texts. I'd used Mark's trust as a weapon. And now I was holding the detonator with facing the wreckage I created. The custody hearing was 3 months later. Mark's lawyer had everything. The texts. The receipts from hotels. My own words calling Mark boring, saying I felt trapped, joking about how easy it was to fool him. They painted me as an unfit mother. Selfish. Reckless. Someone who prioritized an affair over her children's stability. I sat there while they read my messages out loud in front of a judge. While Mark's lawyer asked if I thought it was appropriate for the girls to witness my erratic behavior and emotional distance. My own lawyer told me to take a plea deal. Mark gets primary custody, I get every other weekend and alternating holidays. I signed. The girls didn't understand at first. Lily asked why they couldn't live with mommy anymore. Emma, my 9-year-old, stopped asking after the first month. She just got quiet. Distant. Like she was already learning not to rely on me. My friends chose sides. Most of them chose Mark. They'd watched him be devoted for 12 years while I complained about him being too predictable. Now they were posting about loyalty and integrity on social media, and I knew it was aimed at me. The ones who didn't ghost me outright just stopped inviting me places. I became the cautionary tale at book club. The reason wives checked their husbands' phones. I lost weight. Not in a good way. I stopped cooking because there was no point. I ate cereal for dinner and scrolled through Mark's Instagram, watching him rebuild. He started running. Lost the dad bod. Posted pictures of the girls at the park, at museums, doing art projects. He looked lighter. Happier. Like a weight had been lifted. He started dating someone 6 months after the divorce was finalized. Her name was Natalie. She was a kindergarten teacher. Pretty. Kind face. The kind of woman who probably baked cookies from scratch and never raised her voice. The girls mentioned her casually during one of my weekends. Daddy's friend Natalie took us to the zoo. I smiled and asked if they had fun, then locked myself in the bathroom and sobbed. I tried dating. A few apps. A couple of first dates. But I was hollowed out. I'd sit across from some guy trying to make conversation and feel nothing. I'd killed something in myself when I killed my marriage, and I couldn't get it back. Work became unbearable. I was a marketing manager at a mid-sized firm. Mark and I had mutual connections in the industry. Word spread. I wasn't fired, but I was passed over for a promotion. My boss started giving me smaller accounts. I overheard 2 co-workers talking in the break room about what she did to her husband, and I left early that day and never really recovered. I moved into a smaller apartment. 1 bedroom. The girls' weekend room was really just an air mattress in the living room. Emma asked why I didn't have a real bed for them. I told her I was still getting settled. She nodded, but I saw it in her eyes. She was embarrassed to be there. I tried reaching out to Mark once, a year after everything fell apart. I sent him a long email. An apology. Explaining that I knew I destroyed us, that I didn't expect forgiveness, but that I wanted him to know I understood now. That I saw what I'd done. He never responded. I don't blame him. The worst part isn't the loneliness. It's watching them be happy without me. Mark got engaged to Natalie last month. Emma mentioned it casually, like she was telling me about a field trip. Said Natalie was nice and that she was teaching her how to bake bread. Lily asked if I was coming to the wedding. I told her that probably wasn't a good idea. She said okay and went back to coloring. I sit in this apartment most nights and scroll through old photos. Mark and me on our honeymoon. The 4 of us at Disneyland. Christmas mornings. I can pinpoint the exact moment I started taking it all for granted. When stable became boring. When devotion became something I felt entitled to waste. Ryan's Instagram is public. He's engaged now too. To someone who looks like me but younger. I doubt he thinks about me at all. My mom asked me last week if I'd learned anything. I told her I learned that you can't unburn a bridge. That some mistakes don't get do-overs. That trust is like glass, and I didn't just break it. I ground it into dust. The girls are growing up in a house where their stepmother tucks them in. Where their father is present and engaged and free from the weight of my betrayal. I get texts on my visitation weekends confirming pickup times. Polite. Distant. Like I'm a babysitter. I wanted excitement. I wanted to feel desired. I wanted something that made me feel alive. And I got it, for 3 months, at the cost of everything that actually mattered. Now I'm 37, alone, watching the man I destroyed build the life I threw away. I hope my daughters never make the choices I made. I hope they learn from watching what happened to me. I hope they understand that some fires don't warm you. They just burn everything down.